to Conversations with Klana, and today with Vincent Clohessy.
Hello, one and all.
Our love and relationship specialist. Exactly. I'm doing these Conversation with Klana calls every first Thursday in the month together with Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's way more fun to do it with him than to do it alone, isn't it?
As with most things.
Yeah.
Not necessarily with me, but just with another.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are so right. Mm-hmm. It's better to do things together with other people. Mm-hmm. But it always starts with yourself.
It does indeed.
Mm-hmm.
As with most things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And yes, first, I'm Klana. Mm-hmm. And I help female entrepreneurs to move from pressure to pleasure, whatever that is, so that they attract the right clients, make more money, stay healthy in a stressful business, and so on and so forth.
And have more fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Have better experiences.
Yeah.
Connect with people differently. Giggle more, dance more, play more, just more.
More. Of course,
and less and less pressure.
More. Yeah, absolutely.
More joy, more aliveness, more fun, more sex, more cuddles, more kisses,
more money,
more business, better, longer lasting relationships. Yeah. And
by the way, this is also somehow the topic, not the title, but the topic of our upcoming retreat in July. Yeah?
It is indeed, which is entitled Sex, Love and Money.
Yes. And we will do it in the UK.
We will indeed. And if you want more of any of the above or all three, come on over and join us. It's going to be fun, exciting. It's going to change your life. You'll have more sex, more love, more money. Not necessarily during the weekend, but who's to say?
During that weekend.
Indeed.
Not in general.
That's right. But thereafter,
absolutely.
A whole new ball game for you.
Yeah. So there is more information to come, but you can already book. So
that's right.
Just contact Vincent or contact me if you want.
And we have a special early bird offer at the moment, which is for the whole weekend, which is Thursday the 5th, Friday the 6th and Saturday the 7th of July. The standard price is 1,200 excluding accommodation, and the early bird price is a whopping 25% off, so it's just £900 excluding accommodation and food, and there are just 5 limited early bird discounts available. And if you're interested, then I shall supply a link and you can be one of the lucky birds who gets the early bird discount.
And we have a time limit.
We do, which is,
I think, the 10th of some month, but I don't remember which one. This is funny.
May.
So I lost my mind. I think
No
it's
problem.
May. Yes, May. You are right. So I have my manager here. You are good. Thank you.
10th of May.
10th of May. Yeah. 5 women get the early bird.
Yeah. And then the others full price.
So that was the first part of our advertisement. And with what topic are we going to have fun today?
Well, it is how to not be a victim and to blame the circumstances of your life for how it's going.
Yes, I remember. That's a good one. I used to have that all the time.
You did?
Yeah.
Like how?
I cannot do this or that because I don't have money. I think that was it, most thing. I don't have money, I don't have time, I cannot do this because I always had some kind of reason why I could back up.
Some circumstance.
Back down, not back up. Some circumstance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's something different. So today you had a little thing. You were running late for the show. And then you were ringing the bell, and I pushed the button to open the door downstairs, and it didn't open.
No, wouldn't let me in.
So, and it was about 3 minutes before we started here. And I ran down, opened the door, and here he is. So we did everything that the circumstances didn't stop us from showing up here on time.
Yes, yes. And what's interesting, the circumstances, they can be really quite legitimate, you might call them, quite valid and reasonable. And anyone could say, yes, I can see that would stop you. But it's how we respond to the circumstances.
Yes.
So we can be trapped and held back by absolutely believing 100% that the circumstances are preventing us from getting what we want. But something I just connected to, Klana, was that it can also be a device to help us not take responsibility and not take risks. And I can say, because of X, Y, and Z, I'm not able to go, and let's say an example is, I'm presently in Ibiza, and I could have come up with 100 reasons why going to Ibiza for the winter to build my website was not possible. I would have bought into the circumstances that would have maybe prevented me. But instead, I create a possibility, which is I spend time in Ibiza, and then I work around and through all the circumstances to get to where I want to.
And it has to do with determination.
It has indeed, yeah.
So you need to take a decision what you want and then go there, almost no matter what, or if it's life and death. Somehow it sounds a little bit drastic, but depending on what it is. So I realized whenever I really wanted to do something and I took the decision to go there, I found a way to do it. How about you?
Well, I find that if you have that determination and then you take action, the circumstances change.
Yeah.
And my experience is they change favorably when you take action towards getting your goal. One of the quotes that I love most is from David Henry Thoreau, and it goes a bit like this. There's different versions of it, but generally it's like you only have to step confidently in the direction of your dreams to be met with a success unexpected in common hours. Meaning, take the leap and you're going to find circumstances change in the most extraordinary way, much, much quicker than you could have imagined. And it's taken that bold, courageous, determined jump that then it seems lights up the world, and all sorts of things start to move and self-organize in a way that just lays down these steps for you to then proceed.
I have an example for this, but do you also have one?
I probably have hundreds.
Let's share one.
Actually.
And then I come with mine.
I think actually the first time I came to live in Ibiza, I didn't know anybody. I hadn't been here for any period longer than 3 days. I didn't know where I was going to live. I didn't know any people. Had no friends. Didn't know the language. Knew nothing at all. But I knew this was where I wanted to be and where I had to be. There was almost like that determination. Was like I was really clear. This was where, in order for my life to expand and for new experiences, new opportunities, new vistas that I had never imagined possible, for me to have those in my life, Ibiza was where it was going to happen. And fortunately, I had people around me who understood my determination, and they supported me. I had 2 friends who came to Ibiza when I moved, and they brought loads of luggage, my suitcases. I had tons and tons of stuff to move. And no matter what obstacles we faced, we worked through them and we overcame them. And then eventually I found the most exquisite apartment, like truly a beautiful home at an amazing price in the most extraordinary location. And I could easily have just exited this dream, considering I didn't have sufficient funds. I didn't have anything powerfully set up so that when I arrived, everything would be in place. So the circumstances were, this isn't going to work. You shouldn't do this. This is not ideal. It ought to be like A, B, and C, but it was like X, Y, and Z. But everything worked out better than I ever could have imagined. And I know it's having taken that bold step and believing that people, resources, opportunities, magic comes in and helps to entirely change my life. And when I look back at the circumstances, I can see how invalid they were, how they didn't affect my view of the circumstances, didn't actually affect the reality of getting on the court and playing the game of moving myself to Ibiza. So there's a number of different points at which I could have said, because of this, I can't have that. But I didn't choose that. I chose to keep moving forward, even though there were obstacles, because I understand that circumstances are actually constructed in my mind. They're not real. They're not based on reality. It's my perception that I have of the circumstances, how I build that up like as a model in my mind, and then I try and navigate around this model. But luckily, with great coaching skills, we get to dismantle this model through inquiry, whether or not it actually exists and it's real. And like I mentioned earlier, it can be that actually you're blaming circumstances because you're too scared, you're feeling too vulnerable, and you don't want to take action. And so what our mind does is it helps us really effectively to start to put together a really strong case as to why the circumstances are sufficient to stop us getting what we want. And we can tell our friends and our family, I broke my leg. What can I do? I had to stop moving forward. And it becomes a really convenient, it can be a convenient way to actually rationalize and not have to face being scared or having fear, which is natural and normal, and something that, if you turn it around, can actually be a source of energy.
Yeah, but it's good if you have the tools to overcome that and to catch yourself when you are trapped in those thoughts, because then you can take some Maßnahmen. Oh, now I'm missing an English word again.
New actions.
You can take the right actions to get out of this.
Yeah.
And the fear that you were talking about, of course, our ego and our ego mind always wants to feel us safe. There's nothing bad about it, but sometimes it hinders us, or often it hinders us to grow in this superpower we really are. And so it's good to find a way around that. And when you are in fear, check out if it's really fear or if it is more excitement, because those are quite near. And another person can see it when you are talking about, because then you light up, then it's definitely excitement. And when you train this a little bit, you feel it with yourself.
Yes.
You can see, yes, I'm excited. And fear feels slightly different.
Yeah, that's a great distinction. I like that.
Yes. So, and in my life, in the last weeks, I really see a lot of interesting things happen, and I'm so amazed every day more. This because I somehow am determined to go out there and to show myself, no matter how much a fool I make out of myself. And somehow it works. The universe, like I say it, you said it in a different way, works for me. It's in favor. So I get engagements to speak at different places I've never known before. I've never even had in my mind that I would do that. People want me to hold workshops. Sometimes you really need to just be open. Also, things don't come always in the way that you think they should come. And check in when those things come. What does your heart say, or what does your whole system say? And don't say no at the moment or immediately just because it's not what you thought the outcome should be.
This is very interesting. So when the idea of being here in Ibiza came up for me in December, my initial response was nope, I do not want to do that. So there was like a circumstance almost there where it was like, no, that's not what I want, and that's not what I need. But what I did was I checked in, and I spent time just looking at what's come up, what might be the fear, and I identified a few things, and I just collapsed them. I just worked through them to see if they were based in reality, and they weren't. And once they'd all gone, what was left was excitement. It was like, holy moly, and I didn't expect to be going back to Ibiza. It completely came as a surprise.
Yeah.
And now it is the most extraordinary period of time I've ever spent in my life. And what I get is like, if I had bought into the circumstances or my story or my model when it first came up and that fear, then I would still be in the UK covered in snow.
Yes.
But actually, as you can see today, I've caught some sun, and it was really quite warm. And I've also had these experiences, and what's amazing is when you engage with life in this way, it's like just beyond your fear, just beyond your block is magic. Stuff comes that you would never expect. They're almost like gifts that are unexpected and bountiful, and you can go and get them. They're there just behind the fear, or just behind your story of the circumstances.
This is so true. As you shouldn't buy into other people's stories, you shouldn't buy into your own story.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, my stories are crap.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't believe a word I say. No.
Especially when they are stories that stop you from doing really good things.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Yes. And you see what it does with the two of us? Aren't we shiny somehow? At least more than we ever did before. And this is exactly what I would like you to be too. So ignite your magnetism. And this is, by the way, the title of my new 30-day program.
Ooh,
for
tell
you
us more.
Ladies.
Oh.
It's an online program, but it's live online. So with me, we are talking like we are talking now, and I have hopefully a dialogue with you on the other side. We see each other. It's via video Zoom, so it's really personal, and you can ask your questions. And there is teaching. It's a combination between teaching and practicing. And don't be scared. The main thing there is masturbation, but not in front of other people. You can do it in your home secretly, but it helps when we communicate and exchange our experiences with this, because then we can really help each other. And that was one, I put that up because this was one of the most important things for me, to overcome shame and to get to know my body better and to love myself. So I have a totally different picture and relationship to my body now, after having done this a while ago, and I'm still doing it.
And I can say I've noticed a difference, because I've known Klana since 2012. And when we first met, Klana was, I would say, reserved and slightly detached and actually quite rigid. So when we would embrace or have a hug, it was a bit like hugging a tree. There was not a lot of movement. And now when we hug, we have a really beautiful...
Yes. Oh yeah, I can sink in.
It's a beautiful, warm, delicious, like for a man, it's just like, oh, so it feels really embracing and accepting and warm and comforting and open and generous. It's just a complete transformation.
By the way, this is something we could teach the ladies in England in our class. Because it's really somehow a skill to hug in a welcoming way and not just do it.
I think that's a stunning idea because I do love hugging, I have to say.
I know.
And it is a gift when you're able not only to give a hug that actually communicates the human spirit that you are to another, but also to receive. And that's something I've come across where often, not often, but there's been times when I've hugged somebody and they are rigid, and they're really not able to allow the warmth to come in. And to me, when I experience that, I think what a shame that that's not able to be received, because I know it wants to be received, but it's not. And it might be after a couple of other occasions where they start to relax a bit, and then there's like a relief when you're actually like held and touched by somebody in a loving embrace and an expression of friendship and warmth, which is unusual because you shake hands or you kiss on the cheek, which is quite not impersonal, but it's not a physically embracing process. So I would love to teach hugging. There's people in New York. This is on the agenda already. There's people in New York who charge per hour for people to be hugged. Which is interesting. And in this day and age, there's it seems to be people are feeling and experiencing being less and less connected. And,
that's true.
And we know that there's a lot that the animal, the primal system that runs through our bodies need connection. They need touch. There's something very, very important about that. And when we are deprived of that, we become depleted. So the more hugging, the better.
Yes,
it's good for your health.
So, if you like what we are talking about and want to know more about us, you can go to our websites. I will put them into the video down there. And you can join our Facebook groups. So, my Facebook group is More Abundance and Confidence for Female Entrepreneurs. And yours?
The World of .love.
And your website?
Same address, huh? theworldof.love. Yeah.
Good.
Come on over. Find lots of goodies on how to fall in love and stay in love.
Hope to see you in a month again.
Okay.
Together.
Thanks for having us, guys. See you again.
Bye-bye. Bye.